Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, I would just want to say my prayers are completely with the families and the victims at the Annunciation Catholic School shooting in Minnesota. This is a horrific murder and tragedy, and it should never happen. And on that note, I just want to talk for a minute about why it should never happen in America. As a member of Congress, I enjoy a very special privilege when I'm at the Capitol and the Capitol complex and where my office is. I am completely protected by taxpayer-funded armed guards, and they have guns. And their job and their duty, the Capitol Police, is to protect our buildings, all of the people that work in the buildings, all of the staff in the Capitol, and our congressional office building, and myself, a member of Congress, along with all the other members of Congress, whether they're Republican or Democrat, and just everyone there, and visitors, of course, people that are visiting the Capitol. And this is an incredible privilege that I have. But I can also tell you, I know what it's like to be a student in a school where another student brought guns to school and was planning on killing people, because that happened in my high school at the very beginning of my 11th grade school year. And this is all the way back in 1990. And it happened because our schools became gun-free school zones, and that was thanks to a former Senator, Joe Biden. And it was a big push in Washington, D.C. to make school zones gun-free. Well, fast forward over the decades, and our gun-free school zones have produced nothing but mass killings as our children and faculty have been sitting ducks. And this is why they prey on schools, because they know that they can quickly and easily kill the most innocent and vulnerable Americans to make their statement, and whatever their statement may be. And it's sick and it's disgusting and it's unforgivable that it is allowed to continue. And here's what I'm going to say today about this. Congress can fix it. Congress caused the problem years ago by making schools gun-free school zones, and Congress can fix the problem by undoing this law and allowing guns to be used as protection of our most innocent and vulnerable Americans, our children, our most precious resource. That's what our kids are, our most precious and loved and prized resource. And I'll go a step further. Okay, Marjorie, how are we going to pay for this? Let me tell you how we can pay for it. We can actually put America first. We can put our children first and stop funding foreign wars and foreign aid, and use that money that is going to foreign countries. That money should be used to protect our children the same way members of Congress are protected with armed guards at the Capitol. And that is exactly the right and responsible thing to do. Okay, well, how much money is that, Marjorie? All right, let's talk about that. Every single year, the United States Congress gives Israel $3.8 billion of your hard-earned tax dollars, $3.8 billion. And that money is used for Israel, not for your school children, to protect them, not to protect children that are sitting ducks and vulnerable to any would-be killer for whatever their reasons are, but that money goes to Israel. Okay, well, what about other foreign countries? All right, I'll give you one. We're going to be voting on the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, that funds our military. Well, you know what's going to be in that bill? Another $600 million for Ukraine. That's money that could be used to protect children at school. Protect our kids with armed guards the way Congress is protected. Republicans and Democrats, we are protected with armed guards, but our kids aren't. No. Congress, every single year, votes and sends money to all these foreign countries, not just Israel and Ukraine, many other foreign countries. We send billions of dollars to Egypt, to Jordan, and the list goes on and on and on. Well, you know, the right thing to do would be for Congress to put into action legislation and vote to end gun-free school zones. Not only that, but to move forward with a well-funded plan to protect our most vulnerable resources, our most vulnerable citizens, protect our kids the same exact way Congress is protected, and stop funding foreign countries. That would be the right thing to do. And we have a Republican-controlled House and Senate, and we have a president that very much, I'm sure, would like to see our kids protected. And that is exactly what America wants. And so I'm making this video today to let you know, yes, there are solutions to this problem. And while the left is attacking us for praying, prayer is the first thing that we should do. And so I will pray that our elected leaders will actually put into action legislation and funding to protect our kids once and for all, and to end these school shootings. Second, I'm going to tell you about another thing that we should do. The trans agenda is the most evil agenda on our kids. It literally is an agenda that destroys them body and soul. It is horrific. And it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that is killing children. Here's what I think is extremely important. We already have a bill, Protect Children's Innocence Act, that would codify President Trump's executive order to make it a felony to perform gender-affirming care, sex changes on minors. That's surgeries, that's hormone blockers, that's all types of chemicals and medications that they prescribe to children to supposedly somehow change their gender. This is something that should never happen to children. Kids need to be left alone. Kids need to grow up. They need to grow up. And this is extremely harmful, and we're seeing trans violence over and over again. And so we can pass this bill. Protect Children's Innocence Act has already come through Judiciary Committee. It's completely ready to go. All we have to do is have the Speaker and our Majority Leader bring it to the floor for a vote. Our whip can whip all the members and get them ready to vote for this bill, and it can easily pass the House to move on to the Senate. These are the actions that Congress can take to protect our kids. And I think the right thing to do is, instead of funding foreign countries and their foreign wars and their foreign causes, the most important thing we can do with all of that money is to protect our kids. Thank you.